again. So 2 vlogs in 1 week, which is, yeah, a bit unheard of from me recently, isn't it? But anyway, I hope you're all well. And I'm back today to go through my July makes with you. I've got loads to show you, so we better get started. I have had a really productive July, and yeah, it's been really busy in lots of ways, but even from a sewing perspective, I have got a lot of things made, which I'm really, really pleased about, and I can't wait to share with you. So I have made a total of 1, 8, 9, 10, 15 things. It's going to be a long one. So I have made 1 jumpsuit, 2 pair of trousers, a pair of running leggings, 3 tops, 8 dresses and a jacket. Just like that. So I'll start with what I'm wearing. This is the Peppermint magazine wide strap maxi dress, and I made this in a gorgeous viscose that I think I got from eBay. I think I bought it from Fabrics by Shaila. I will leave a link down below to her eBay page. I've got a fair few fabrics from her actually, because she sells viscoses at a really reasonable price, and they are beautiful quality and really lovely prints, so you can't go wrong. And I've wanted to make this dress for a while, to be honest, and I wanted to make it out of linen, but in early July we had a really big heat wave here in the UK. It got to the point where I just wanted to wear something that was cool, because, you know, something that wasn't really fitted and that was just cool because it was so hot. So as always with these things, as soon as you make something like that, the weather turns, doesn't it? And that's exactly what happened. So I've not really had much chance to wear this dress yet, but I'll stand up and show you. So it's essentially just a sort of midi to maxi length dress, or you could shorten it, I guess, with a centre front seam. It's got wide straps, hence the name wide strap maxi dress, and it has elastic across the back, the upper back region here, just to sort of hold it onto your body. So it's really easy to make. It's got pockets in, but obviously you can leave those out if you don't want them. And it has little side splits as well. I made this in the midi length because I did plan to make it maxi length, and I had a bit of a cock up because when I cut out the front piece, I basically printed this out as a PDF, stuck it all together, and hadn't realised that the top portion of the front was folded back on itself when I had it pinned out on my fabric, and I cut round it and then realised that actually yeah, I'd not cut it out right. So it meant that I just had to move the pattern piece down, which meant it was shorter than it should have been. So, but it's fine, it's about midi length and it's nice, it's really lovely and cool. The only thing with it is, as much as I love wearing these dresses in hot weather because it's nice and cool and breezy, I just think that the shapeless sack-like shape of it just doesn't do anything for my figure. I am obviously small and pear-shaped, and I've got a small chest, small waist, and then, you know, I've got, you know, my hips are my biggest part, and I just think this shape does nothing for my figure whatsoever. So I do think, you know, if I wore this with a belt, it would look, you know, if I put my hands around here, around my waist, you can see how it just gives me better shaping and instantly looks better, doesn't it? And I do have a tan coloured belt somewhere in my wardrobe. I can't find it at the minute because my wardrobe is just overflowing. But yeah, I think I need to wear it with a belt really, which obviously then removes the breeziness of the dress, doesn't it? But you know, c'est la vie. As for the dress itself, I really like it. I think I made size D. They were Peppermint, well, this particular pattern doesn't come in sort of numbered sizes. It's sort of A through to, I can't remember. It's quite a wide size range, to be honest, and it is designed to be sort of loose and flowy anyway, but I think I went for the size D, and it fits me fine. It fits me really well. It does have bust darts, which are too high. They come, I didn't alter the bust darts, to be honest, and they come right up here, and my apex is right down here, so yeah, I need to move those, but it's not too much of an issue in this fabric. You can't really see it. And yeah, it's got a centre front seam, and I don't really understand why it has a centre front seam. I think if you're using a plain fabric like a linen, a plain linen or a plain cotton, something like that, then yeah, you're supposed to top stitch around the top and top stitch the centre front seam down. And I think in a plain fabric that gives you that added sort of style feature, but in a patterned fabric like this, I personally think it's better omitting the centre front seam and cutting it on the fold. I've got away with it with this print because you can't, you know, the print's busy enough and you can't really tell, but I think otherwise, if you're using a print, having a centre front seam is just going to disturb that print altogether. So if I make it again, which I probably will, and if I did it out of a print, I would omit the centre front seam and just cut it on the fold, so that, yeah, it just, you know, didn't disrupt the print, depending on what print you're using. So, but it was a simple enough make. I think I put it together in about 2 hours altogether. I do like the wide straps. They're obviously very bra friendly, so you know, I mean, I can get away with going without a bra anyway, or wearing any, you know, any kind of strapless bra is fine with me. But you know, for those of you that don't like going without a bra, or don't like wearing strapless bras, then yeah, the strap position and placement and width is great for a bra. So yeah, it's a nice dress for summer. So that's my first make. I am going to probably go through all the dresses first. I think that's probably the best thing to do. So I'll get changed and I'll show you my next make. So this is my next make, which is the Eve dress by Sew Over It. And I've made this probably about 4 or 5 times now, and I absolutely adore this dress. I think it's probably one of my favourite dress patterns. I just think it is so beautiful. It is really, you know, it's really well drafted. It's got some lovely features. You can style it up or style it down, and I just love how it looks. I feel really super confident in it, and I think it's super flattering, and I just love it. I absolutely love it. This fabric is a viscose, again, that I bought from eBay. I can't remember the name of the seller, but if I can link it down below, I will do. And I'll be honest, I've had a lot of issues with this pattern over the years. As much as I loved it, and as much as I love a wrap dress on me because I think it really suits my silhouette and my shape, I had major issues with getting this pattern to fit me properly. Initially, I was choosing the wrong size. I do think it is very generous in its sizing, and I think a lot of Sew Over It patterns are very generous in their sizing as well. But aside from that, I also had issues with the front neckline, getting that to not gape, and just getting it to fit me right. And I toyed around with different sizes, toyed around with a full bust adjustment, etc., in a smaller size across the shoulders, and my weight has obviously fluctuated a fair bit over the years as well, which has added extra difficulties into the mix with getting this pattern right to fit me. But I think I've finally cracked it. So this is a size 10 bodice, graded to an 8 at the waist, and then it goes out to a 14 at the hip. I still think it's probably just a bit too big on the hip because the wrap goes all the way around to the side of my body now, and I think it probably needs a 12 rather than a 14. But anyway, I'm going to stand up and show you and let you see it. So here she is. Here is my Eve, and it's gorgeous. I absolutely love it. I've chosen obviously the fluted sleeves because I think for summer that is, you know, it works really, really well. I always do the super long ties, and I tie them around a couple of times, and then obviously just got it tied in the back. I have made the high-low hem. If I just stand up and I'll show you. So I've got the high-low hem, and I did lengthen it. As I say, you can see that the front, you know, wraps all the way around to my side, and I think it's probably should be maybe about there. So I think next time I will, because the side seams are actually coming right across the front of my body instead of right on my side. So I do think it's probably just a little bit too big on the bottom half. So I'm probably going to just grade down to a 12 on the skirt. But I do love this dress. I just think it's beautiful. It's obviously got the little gathers into the front yoke here, and it's gorgeous. I have fully French seamed this dress. and I followed Sian's advice when she's made loads of these dresses, and she makes 4 of the yolks rather than 2 and burritos it, which is what I've done with this, and I do that with all these dresses now because it just gives you a much neater finish on the inside, and it's fairly easy to do. I have bias bound all the wrap with just some ivory satin bias binding, and yeah, it's really pretty. I aren't able to go outside and take nice pictures of these dresses today because the weather is just awful and it keeps raining. Yeah, so that's not happening. So you'll have to make do with inside photos. But if I just come a bit closer, you can see this gorgeous fabric. As I say, it's a viscose with beautiful, I think I want to say lilies, but I'm not completely sure, but it is very, very pretty. So yeah, really love this one, and I love this one so much that I immediately cut out another, so I'll get changed and show you that one. So this is my second Eve that I made in July, and again I made it out of viscose. This is a beautiful tropical print viscose, and again I made exactly the same version with the little fluted sleeves and the gathers into the yoke at the top, and again it is the high-low hem, and this beautiful viscose, I have no idea where I bought it from. I wish I did, because I'd probably buy more of it because I love it. It's beautiful. It's so soft and floaty and swishy, and it's very opaque as well, so you can't see through it, but I think it's gorgeous. Absolutely love it. Again, I just made the same size in this pattern. I made the size 10, and yeah, this is the 14 again, but as I say, the side seams should sit on my side and they're sitting really far forward, so it gives an extra bit of swish, which is fine, but I think I will probably just grade the skirt down just a little bit, and yeah, it's beautiful. So I think I finally perfected this pattern now. This one again is fully French seamed inside, and again I've lined it with the same ivory satin. I've bound it, sorry, with the same ivory satin bias binding all along the neckline and the side, and then the bottom is just hemmed using a blind stitch. I don't know if you can see that. Blind hem stitch. So that's how it looks on the inside, and then on the outside you should not really be able to see many stitches there. It just keeps it nice and invisible, and yeah, it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. Love it, really love it. So I'm going to, while we're still on the Sew Over It theme, I'm going to put on my little Sorrento jacket, which I did get done in July. There is a separate vlog on that pattern, which I will link to down below, so you can go and check that out if you're interested in what I think to that pattern. But I'm going to put it on and show you how you can make this dress look a little bit more casual. Okay, so here is my Sorrento jacket that I made in July, and oh my word, I adore this jacket. It is amazing. It is so, so nice. This is the first time I've ever made a denim jacket, and I've wanted to make one for a long time, but I was just not sure about which pattern I wanted to use because there are so many great patterns out there for denim jackets. So just to quickly tell you about this jacket, I mean, as you can see, I've got it on with my Eve, and this one hits me direct on the waist because I didn't lengthen the pattern at all. The pattern, obviously with me being tall, is designed to be more sort of high hip, but I wanted a cropped denim jacket, and this works really well with me just leaving the length as it was in the pattern. I did lengthen the sleeves by 1.25 inches, and yeah, that's the only changes I made. I made a size 10. Again, it's a Sew Over It pattern. I do think it's a generous size, but it's gorgeous. I love it. It's got these little pockets, as you can see, and it's got all the seaming detail, loads of top stitching. This little brooch that I've got here is a Butler & Wilson brooch that I got in the sale last Christmas, and I just think it looks really cute on my jacket, and yeah, absolutely love it. I wear this all the time this time of year. It's just, you know, it's just the perfect thing in my wardrobe, so I'm so pleased that I got it done. And to be honest, it was really easy to put together. I think the hardest thing is obviously doing the top stitching and, you know, the nerves of steel you need to make sure you get the buttons done at the end, because if you make a mistake with those, you've put holes in it and you can't undo that, can you? So that's always a little bit sweaty palms, but yeah, love it, and I think it looks great with this dress, and it just makes it a lot more casual, so you know you can you don't feel as dressed up, but yeah, really happy. So I have one more sew over it dress to change into, so I'll get changed and then I'll show you my next make. Right, I'm showing you this one now, but it isn't quite finished, okay? So this is another Ravello dress. This is the third Ravello that I've made, and again, I have gone for the long length version. I haven't yet finished the neckline because this pattern calls for bias bound entire neckline and hem, so you do need a lot of bias binding for this. But I didn't have the right colour in my stash, so I had to order some in teal, which has arrived, and yeah, I just haven't got around to finishing yet, but I thought you'd like to see it anyway, so let me stand up and show you. So again, I have made the maxi version of this dress because I just love it. I love wearing maxi dresses and it's beautiful, really beautiful. It's not quite fitting right at the minute because once all the entire neckline and hem is bias bound, you then need to put a button and loop on the inside, so the inside isn't quite sort of fastening. Well, it's not fastened at the minute, so but the ties are on the side there, and yeah, it's absolutely gorgeous. Again, if I just come a bit closer so you can see this beautiful viscose. This was a viscose again that I bought from Fabrics by Shaila, and it's a gorgeous floral pattern, as you can see. Really pretty, really like it. If I stand up, I will show you how it looks. So yeah, it's the really long version, and it has like a curved front wrap over, which is really pretty. Again, I mean, this looks like a really complicated pattern, but it really isn't. It's really simple. It's got nice little cuffs on the sleeves. It has darts and pleats in the bodice, and quite a high wrap, which is always nice, isn't it? Because you don't have that fear of everything falling out. But yeah, just need to finish it off, and then I can get this worn. So yeah, that's my last sew over it make. I still have 3 dresses to show you, so I'm going to get changed and show you the next one. So my next dress is this one, which is another Mccall's M7969. I'll insert a picture here. It's been very popular in the old sewing community as this dress, but I've made 2 or 3 versions of this now, and previously I've made it in a Georgette crepe fabric, which works really well. This time I decided to make it in this gingham linen fabric that I got from the fabric store, and I adore this fabric. It's beautiful. I don't think this is a very successful make, to be honest, and I think that is because of my fabric choice. Now, I really wanted a gingham version of this dress, and I saw a picture of somebody on Instagram. They'd done one, it looked amazing, and I did Google, because the pattern fabric suggestions do suggest drapey fabrics, and I knew that this didn't have as much drape because it's not a heavy linen, but it's probably just a bit heavier than cotton lawn. It's in between a cotton lawn and a cotton poplin, I would say. And I wasn't sure whether it would work, but I did Google. I did do a bit of a pattern search at other people's versions of this dress, and loads of people had made it in cotton and it looked great, so I thought, yeah, I'll go with it. And I just feel it's a little bit Bo Peepish, if I'm honest, but you know, I will wear it, it's fine. So let me stand up and show you. So this pattern does have like the crossover front, which is all bias bound with self bias binding. The key thing about this dress is the sleeves. They have these gorgeous big balloon sleeves with little cuffs on. It's all gathered into the cuff. I did put pockets in this dress, but I have put the pockets very low down, and yeah, they're a little bit too low, to be honest. It's Empire line, so it does come just below your bust, and yeah, let me just stand up and show you. I did do it to sort of knee length. I mean, it's nice enough, but I do feel a little bit, disappointed with it, if I'm honest, because I just think I think the fabric is just a bit too heavy. I think probably with the right styling it would work, but you know, just throwing it on a Sunday morning in my sewing room without any proper styling, it doesn't feel like it works, if that makes sense. So I think probably with, you know, the right styling, a summer hat, nice bag, pumps, you know, lightweight pumps or sandals or whatever, it'll probably be fine. So I definitely will wear it. I have already worn it, to be honest, and it's nice and airy and breezy. So yeah, so it's not a total fail, I think, but as I say, I think the main thing is about how I feel in it, and I do feel a little bit Bo Peep in it. I don't know if it's the gingham or if it's just the fabric with it being a bit heavier than the recommended fabrics, I don't know, but yeah, we'll see. Anyway, I still have 2 dresses to show you, so I'm going to get changed and show you what's next. Right, so next up is another maxi dress. This is the thread count 2-in-1 maxi dress pattern that came free with a magazine. So I have made this version here. Now this is it's a surplice bodice with surplice, I don't know how you pronounce that, but it's a fixed wrap bodice, if that makes sense, and then the skirt is just a straight skirt. It's designed for jersey fabrics, lightweight drapey jersey fabrics, and has a tie belt, a waist. It has a waist front seam here with a tie belt, and it has elastic in the waist as well, just to hold it and keep it in place. And this fabric is a poly jersey that I got originally from the textile centre. You can see that there, it's got a little bit of texture to the print, to the leaf print on there. And I bought this years ago, to be honest, and I've got quite a number of these kinds of jerseys in my stash that are all sort of 2 to 2.5 metre lengths, and I never know what to do with them, because I always think I've got too much for a top but not enough for a dress. And it's been a bit of a challenge trying to find a pattern, a dress pattern, where I can use up some of these fabrics, to be honest. And so I was really pleased that I had a go at this, and I found a pattern that is actually really quick and easy to put together, and I can use up some of those really old jerseys in my stash and get them worn. So I'm really happy with how it's sewn up, actually. And I'm not a huge fan of sort of synthetic fibres anymore, and I do still have a number of these fabrics in my stash, and I don't want to get rid of them because I just think that's wasteful. So I do need to use them. And actually I was, you know, I think I always worry that these kind of jerseys are going to feel really clingy and horrible, but actually this is fine. It doesn't cling to me at all. There's no static with it, and you know, it's very breathable. So I think, yeah, it's a really nice dress. The instructions were absolutely fine. It was easy to put together. I can't remember what size I made. I think I went with either the 10 or the 12. I'm not quite sure, to be honest, but it was, yeah, really straightforward. As usual, I lengthened the bodice and I lengthened the skirt by about 3 inches altogether. But if I stand up on the chair, and I will show you how it looks. Yeah, so you can see, you know, the length there, it's really long, but I think this is a really nice dress. And, you know, for a free pattern, let me just quickly change my battery. Now, the only thing I didn't like about this pattern is that in the instructions it tells you to just fold over the armhole seams and stitch, and the same with the front neckline. And I was really worried that, especially in a crossover, that it's so easy to get it out of shape that I thought it's just not going to hug my body. And so I created a neckband for this, and I ended up just using my cover stitch to stitch it in place. Hopefully you can see that there. And that worked absolutely fine. The shoulders I did just turn under and stitch on my cover stitch. And they're okay, but yeah, I always get a bit worried about necklines in jersey where they tell you to just turn it over and stitch, because it's so easy to stretch them out of shape. And I think when you've done all that work, a neck band always looks better and just, you know, keeps everything sort of taut and tight, which is what you want. So Really happy with it otherwise, and I was so happy with it I then decided to make another one to wear to the Festival of Quilts. So I'll get changed again and show you my next dress. So this is my second version of the thread count maxi dress pattern, and I made this in the Savannah crepe jersey from Lady McElroy. It's exactly the same pattern. You've got this waistband across the front, the supply bodice and the tie belt at the back. I've made the maxi length version again. It's stand up and I'll be able to show you how that looks. Gorgeous, gorgeous fabric. I love this print so much, and really happy with this dress. But I didn't want to make a neckband for this because I thought it would just interrupt the print a bit too much. So I went against my better judgment and folded over the neckline and stitched it down. Despite everything that I've just told you about why I think that is always a bad idea, I went with it. But what I did with this was I did use a jersey interfacing around the neckline because I thought that would just help with stabilising it a little bit, and it did, but it's still a little bit too loose, so much so that I've had to pin it with a safety pin to hold the front together. So I'm really cross with myself because I should have just done a neckband. Having said that, I don't think I had enough left because I only had 2 meters of this fabric and I literally had tiny scraps left, so I didn't have enough left to actually make a neckband. I would have had to have bought more, which would have just been wasteful really. So I didn't really have much alternative but to just turn it over and stitch. And you know, I can get away with it, it's okay, but it's a little bit annoying that I didn't have enough to create a neckband, because I would have done if I had had enough. Yeah. So, but you know, it's okay, it's fine. And I wore this to the Festival of Quilts. I absolutely love it. I think it's beautiful. Really, really, really nice dress. This fabric is very heavy, which, you know, it does mean that it does pull down a little bit. And I ended up having to take a number of inches off the bottom because I made this a couple of days before the Festival of Quilts. And when it had been hanging, it was dragging a lot on the floor, so I needed to take a good couple of inches off before I hemmed it. But yeah, it's really lovely, really, really lovely dress, and I know that I'm just going to wear this loads. Right, so this is the jumpsuit, and this was a little bit of a hack. So I have seen Lisa Comfort make a hack of the Rosie dress, hacking it with their ultimate culottes into a jumpsuit. And I don't have the ultimate culottes by Sew Over It, but I do have the Rosie dress, and I've never made it before, and I was really keen to have a go. So I decided to have a go at making a jumpsuit myself, and I used the Rosie bodice, and I also used the palazzo pants pattern from the Great British Sewing Bee book from a few years ago. And I've had to do a fair bit of pattern adjustments really to make them both fit me, but yeah, it's worked really, really well. So firstly, let me show you how it looks. So here is the jumpsuit, and I am super pleased with it. I probably don't have it on with the right underwear at the minute, but hopefully you can get the idea. So I made the Rosie jumpsuit, which is a princess seamed panelled jumpsuit, and you've got the option of putting like this little I don't know what you call it, I want to call it flaps, but that's totally the wrong word, isn't it? But it's got, like, you know, this little detail, this little collar detail, that's it, over the front and the back. And or you can leave that off altogether. Now the original pattern does have boning in the bodice, but I haven't put any boning in this. I don't particularly need it, to be honest, and I've just you know, I've just stitched it together. The bodice is fully lined, which is really lovely, and you could wear this with a bra, but I've basically, I mean, I haven't put a strapless bra on with this at the minute. I have I've just tucked my bra straps in just to show you, but yeah, it's really, really nice. Now what I did was the palazzo pants from the Great British Sewing Bee book. I had to raise the waist by about 2 inches, and I dropped the waist on the Rosie dress bodice by about 1.5 inches as well. and that's worked really well. So the seam of the waist, I mean the waist seam is bang on my waist, which was more a fluke than anything else, I'll be honest. It is very fitted. This was meant to be a wearable toile because I would like to make another. If I stand up, and I will show you how it looks. So yeah, the trousers are very long, as you can see, and this is a lovely viscose that I bought from eBay a few years ago again, but I can't remember where I got this from. And I lengthened the rise as well, the crotch rise, by I think about 3/4 of an inch, and I think I could probably just do with just a touch more. So again, as I say, this was designed to be a wearable toile. I do feel, I will be honest, I mean, it fits and it fits me fine, but I do feel very exposed in it, again, because it is so very figure hugging. And I think if, I mean, it's, you know, the palazzo pants are great, and I did do a butt adjustment, which is what I always do. It's got a centre back invisible zip, which I don't think is that invisible because I didn't have the right colour, so I just used a red one. But you know, it's nice. It's really nice, and I think, you know, if I wear it with a little cardigan or whatever, it'd be fine. But I think I just need just a little bit extra in the crotch depth. I think that will make me feel a little less exposed, I guess. I don't know, but yeah, the crotch depth just needs just a touch more, so probably about another ½ inch, I think, and then it will be perfect. But I do really like it, and I think I'm probably going to make a dress version of this as well, because the Rosie bodice is so lovely and the fit is lovely. I initially toiled the bodice and I made the size 12, and it was just enormous on me, so I went down to a straight size 10, and the 10 fits perfect. So yeah, really like it, and I'm definitely going to make this again. So as I say, I just want to just add in that just touch extra of the crotch depth, and I think it will be fine. And I think in a darker fabric, because I think maybe it's probably just because it's the lightness of the fabric, I don't know. You know, it's quite a, I think with a darker fabric I'll probably feel less exposed, shall we say. But yeah, I really like it. I'm pleased I've done it, and I will definitely be making this again with those few tweaks just to make it perfect. Right, next up I'm going to show you my running leggings. I'm not going to put those on because I've worn them this morning when I went for my run, so they're a bit wet and stinky at the minute. They need to go in the wash, so I'm not putting them back on at the minute. Now I've had a shower, but I will show you them. So I love Greenstyle Creations patterns. I absolutely love them, and I particularly like the Strides running trousers, which I will put a picture of here, running leggings. I've made a few of these ones now, and these are probably my favourite. They just fit so well, and they've got such good compression, which is what I need for running. So I've made a pair here, and I've made the cropped version that come to just below my knee. This fabric is amazing. So this is lycra from First for Fabrics, and I bought 1 metre of it, and I'm going to make a little sports bra to match as well, I think. But it's just gorgeous, isn't it? It's so psychedelic. So I will link to it down below because they have a few different designs, and it's brilliant. It is brilliant for activewear. I think it would be great for swimwear as well, but I would definitely buy more of their lycra. The blue lycra, the contrasting lycra, is from Walton's Fabrics, which is my local fabric store that I love. And yeah, so but it's a very similar weight, and I think it coordinates really well with the patterned lycra that I got from First for Fabrics. And what can I say, it's a great little pattern. This pattern for these leggings sews up in about an hour max. It's just great, and I wanted to make a pair as well so that I could try out my little cover stitch, which is behind me there. I wanted to get used to that, and I have used triple cover stitch on, hopefully you can see the bottom hem there, and it's just amazing, absolutely amazing. So really chuffed with these. I wear these all the time. I went a bit blurry there, sorry about that. Yeah, these are my favourite running leggings for this time of year, and they are on constant rotation, so as soon as they've been washed I want them for my next run, which is, you know, that says a lot because they just fit so well. So they're now going in the wash because they are really sticky and wet, and I am going to get changed, and I'm next going to put on my trousers. I made 2 pairs of trousers in July, so I'm going to put a pair on with one of the tops. Now, none of the tops match the trousers that I've made, so just bear that in mind, but we'll see how we get on. Right, so top number 1 is this one, which is the Grace top by Friday Pattern Company, and I bought this pattern when I saw Shaila from Satisfaction make this up, because I just thought, what a gorgeous little top pattern that is for summer, and I love it. This is such a simple pattern, it goes together so quickly. You can knock these out in literally half an hour, honestly. It is so quick. So it has like a little funnel neck that's got a little bit of a drape to it. This fabric is a printed polka dot fabric that I think I got from Cowl. And it has a, it's designed to be sort of loose fitting, and it has like a high-low hem, which is really pretty. And it's got like a nice scoop neckline, hopefully. Oh, hopefully you can see it. And it's just gorgeous. It's really lovely. I made this fabric is like a drapey jersey. It's a drapey jersey, so I think it's probably a viscose jersey. So you do need something quite drapey with it. I think anything heavier than a viscose jersey, if you go for, I mean, bamboo jerseys would be lovely, modal jerseys would be nice, cotton jerseys I think would be a bit too stiff, so it needs to be quite lightweight. But I've got loads of these lightweight jerseys in my stash, and it takes such a little amount of fabric as well. You can get this out of less than a metre, definitely. I didn't lengthen this pattern either, and it hits me right on my sort of low hip, I would say. So, you know, if you wanted to make it cropped, you can do, which I think I would like to do, to wear with shorts. I think that would be great. So yeah, really happy with it. And the trousers that I'm wearing, I'm probably going to have to tuck this top in. I mean, obviously it doesn't go with these trousers in the slightest, but I will tuck it in just to show you. So these trousers are the bob pants by Style Arc. They were on my plans for July, and I made it in this gorgeous, gorgeous linen that I bought from eBay again. And I think I mentioned in my plans vlog in July that I was really worried about this pattern because I thought the style of it wouldn't suit me, even though I really wanted to make them. But I am so pleased that I have made them, and I think they look amazing. They are a cocoon leg shape, and they've got an elasticated waist, which again isn't always flattering, but you do have a really wide elastic in the waist, which is always better in elasticated waists, I think, because it just means that it doesn't dig in too much and give you that muffin top effect. So it's a really lovely pattern. Let me stand on my chair and show you. They do come to sort of ankle length on me, but you know, and as you can see they've got a cocoon shape to them. Pockets, which is great, and yeah, I absolutely love them. They're nice and wide legged, really floaty, and I will be wearing these on holiday when I go to Cornwall next month because they're just amazing, and I'm definitely going to make another pair because they are so comfortable to wear. So I'm going to change into the other 2 tops, and then I will put the other pair of trousers on as well and just show you the tops that I've made. So I will be back in a tick. Right, so next up is this little top, which is a cowl neck top, and it's actually a vintage pattern. So Sian made some of these cowl neck woven tops, and I think it was an old Mccall's pattern, or it might have been a new look one, I can't actually remember. And I love it on her, it just looks so nice, and I love cowl neck tops anyway. I just think they're so lovely, but it's actually really difficult to find a current pattern for a cowl neck that's not a jersey, and yeah, I've really struggled looking for one, to be honest. So I actually stumbled across this pattern on a pattern selling group on Facebook, and it is a vintage Vogue pattern 6601, which is this one here. So hopefully you can see that. I mean, you know, you're not going to be able to find this pattern, honestly, but when I saw this, I think it cost me about £6, but it was this version here because it's a cowl neck and it's designed for woven fabrics. So I thought, you know what, I'm going to have a go. This is a size 16 for a 36-inch bust, and this is the problem with vintage patterns, isn't it? That they generally come in that one size. So, you know, if you need to grade between sizes or blend sizes, it's always a little bit of a gamble as to whether things are going to fit or not, isn't it? But I thought, you know, it's probably going to be fine, so I'll try it. It's actually quite big, as you can see. It's fairly big on me, but it was a lovely pattern. This is the first vintage pattern I have ever made, and I think going for something fairly simple like this, where you you know, the instructions, I mean, instructions are instructions, aren't they, to a degree, but some of the pattern making and pattern drafting is slightly different in vintage patterns, and some of the techniques are slightly different. So I was a little bit nervous about it, I'll say, but it came together really well. Now let me stand up and show you. Obviously it does not go with my bob pants in the slightest, but it fits really fine. So it's got like a front facing for the cowl neck, which ties in, which stitches into the shoulder seams, which is lovely. Now you might notice, the eagle-eyed amongst you, that the pattern placement is slightly different on the back to the front, and that's because the front is actually cut on the bias. So I didn't know that when I bought the pattern, and I was a little bit worried how that would work, because this fabric is a georgette fabric again, very shifty, and it was a nightmare having to cut it on the bias as well, and you know, sew a cowl neck with it. But I've got away with it, I've managed it. I have bias bound the armholes with some blue satin bias binding, just that I had in my stash. I do think it's a little bit on the large side, but I really like it. I just think it's really flattering, so I'm really pleased with it. I totally cocked up the shoulders on this, because the shoulder, if you look at the pattern, the shoulder seams actually come over the top of the shoulders, and they don't on me. And the reason for that is because you are supposed to just turn over the shoulders, seam and stitch. And I did that, and it looked an absolute mess. In this fabric, trying to make a narrow hem was just a nightmare, and I stitched it and it looked a mess, and there was absolutely no way I was going to unstitch it, because in this fabric that's quite flimsy, it would have just been a mess and taken me forever. So I did the thing that you should never do. I just cut the thing off, didn't I? I cut the hem off totally, and thought, right, I'll get my bias binding out and I'll do a bias bound hem. So obviously I lost a fair bit on the shoulders, which is fine, it looks absolutely fine, but obviously that's not how the design is supposed to be. So, but you know, that's fine. I think I've got away with it. Will I make this again? Absolutely. Probably not in something as shifty as this, but then again, maybe, who knows. But I do really like it. It's lovely. Definitely going to make some more. And you know, I think in your lightweight fabrics like this, viscose, I wouldn't go for a cotton lawn. I don't think it will. I don't think you get the right effect with, because of the cowl, etc. But I think it would look great in those sort of lighter weight fabrics. So yeah, really happy with that. One more top to show you, so I'll quickly get changed. I'll be back in a tick. Right, so my last top to show you is this one, which is the Butterick top by Gertie. I can't remember which number it is, but I will put a picture of it here. And I made it from this gorgeous yarn dyed gingham cotton that I had in my stash. Can't remember where I got this from now. It's been in my stash for a couple of years. And I think I made the size 12, and I absolutely love it. So let me stand up and show you. So here we go. I am wearing it with a pair of ultimate trousers that I also made in July, and obviously they don't go together at all. But I lengthened this pattern by, I think, an inch. It might have been a little bit more actually, but I do need to lengthen it a little bit more because it is still very, very cropped. Now with these trousers, not this particular pair, but I think if I made a pair of ultimate trousers in just a plain colour, then, you know, at the length this is now, I can get away with it. These trousers, as I say, are the ultimate trousers by Sew Over It, and I use this gorgeous stretch cotton that I got from Boys. It was about £4 a metre. I'll stand up on my chair so you can see. So they come to just sort of ankle length, and I had to retrace the pattern for these trousers, and I went down to a size 10 and I raised the waist again, and I also did a full butt adjustment. So I think I did about an inch full butt adjustment, and the fit on these is amazing, absolutely amazing. So yeah, I love the top with the trousers, not this particular print, but I think the actual style of this top with the ultimate trousers is going to really, really work. And yeah, I mean, what can I say? I mean, this shirt is fantastic. I know Sian's made a few of these, and I've had this pattern in my stash for a few years, and I've wanted to make this for a few years and just not got around to it. But it's amazing. It's got really, really sort of like vintage style collar, and how the collar is at the back is gorgeous. It's got an all-in-one facing at the front, which is just, it's, you know, the drafting of it is just lovely. And the buttons I used, if I just come closer, are these little red shell buttons. I don't know if you can see those very well. I got these ones from the Textile Garden. I'll leave a link to them down below. I don't know if they've got these particular ones still, but I bought 5 buttons from them, and I absolutely love it. So I think with the trousers, if I make a pair of trousers that I can wear this top with, then that will be great. Even maybe in some stretch denim, I think that would look nice, wouldn't it? But if to wear it with my jeans don't come up as high as these trousers do, so I will need to add in probably at least another inch, I think, on this pattern, so that it's you know, I've not got midriff showing. I don't mind a tiny little bit of flesh. I mean, you can probably just see a little bit of flesh there, but you know, I'm 48 years old. I don't want to be, you know, looking like I'm in my 20s or whatever. So there's bits of us we want to cover up as we get older, isn't there? But yeah, I really like it. It is probably just a little, I mean, it's not too loose, but it's not really tight on me either. But I like this kind of fit. I don't like things mega tight, and because, as I showed you with the Rosie jumpsuit that I made, although it fits and it's very fitted, I always feel a little bit exposed when things are super fitted like that, and that makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable. So I like things a little bit loose but still fitted, if that makes sense, so that it just makes me feel less exposed, I guess. But so I like the fit of this. I'm really happy with that, and I don't think I've changed the size. Just need to add on an extra inch, but I really like it. I think it's gorgeous, and I love these trousers. As I say, I think I made a size 10, straight size 10, and I just did an inch butt adjustment, and I raised the waist by about 2 inches as well. Lisa Comfort does have a blog post about that, how to do it. It's really simple, and then you just recreate the facing for the top. So yeah, really happy with everything that I've made. So that's it. I yeah, had a really productive July, very successful, really happy with everything. I'm still thinking about, I mean, we're on, you know, we're well into August already, and I'm still thinking about what I want to make next. I've got a few things going on in my mind, but we are going down to Cornwall for a week in September, and I'm sort of trying to plan a little bit around that. I'm thinking, I'm sort of leaning towards a very sort of Cornish vibe with how I want to dress. So either going not so much in the sort of nautical theme, but I guess a little bit of a hint towards that, but very much from the sort of artist vibe, I guess, and the bob pants really fit in with that, although not that particular colour. So that's where I'm sort of thinking at the minute, but I just need to have a look at what I've got in my stash, because I don't want to be buying any new fabrics for that. I want to use what I've got in my stash and choose pieces from there that I can coordinate together for that kind of capsule holiday collection, I guess. So yeah, still got a little bit of work to think about that, but I'll let you know what I come up with. Right, I am gonna go, so I hope you enjoy the rest of your day. Thanks for watching, and I will see you again really soon. Take care, bye.